Everyone, this is the Villains Man, and I'm JVD, bringing you another comic book review over Dark Metal, The Resistance. Now, this is going to be part one. If you go to the trade paperback, there's literally 8 books that take place within a bunch of ongoing DC titles, but and they all seem to be separate stories. So right now, on part one, I'm going to cover Teen Titans 12, Nightwing 29, Suicide Squad 26, and Green Arrow 32. Because these all tie up into one story, but they all seem to take place at the same time. What this part of the story is known for, especially in Teen Titans number 12, is the first appearance of Batman Who Laughs, which is a pretty hot book right now. So if you can find those in first prints, I would pick them up. I got lucky enough not too long ago to find some myself. Much like Batman Lost or Hawkman Found, these don't really add to the story of Dark Metal, the miniseries, or it doesn't take away, but it kind of gives you an idea of what's going on in Gotham after Challenger Mountain rises and the Dark Universe, well, much to say multiverse, starts to attack the Prime Earth. It's good. I enjoyed it. It really brings a group of characters that you would never really expect to see together for the most part. And it breaks them up very, very quickly. And it shows you just how prepared Barbatos and the Dark Knights have been for this whole invasion of Prime Earth to bring it down into the darkness. And that's a very ongoing theme. And all this Dark Knight stuff is just how well prepared Barbatos and his minions are, and you can really see it here. Besides the Teen Titan books, I don't own any of these individually, but I'm glad I got a chance to read them. I think I'm going to seek them out right now. All the other parts for part 2, which I'll cover, which is in Justice League, The Flash, and Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. I read all those books, so I have all those. But yeah, if you can't pick these up, they're a fun little read, especially with the Batman Who Laughs, because he's got these cards that are tied to cosmic metal, and it really shapes up Gotham through Batman's Rogues Gallery. You get some really, really cool stuff here. One thing that it has made me want to do is I do not read Suicide Squad. It is not a book that I pick up. I don't think I've ever read a Suicide Squad book unless it's tied into something, which I cannot even think anything I read that ties into Suicide Squad. But this collection here with Harley Quinn and Croc and the relationship they have really makes me want to read it, because she cares about Croc. I wouldn't say not romantically or anything, because he's a big dumb oaf, but and you can tell that he kind of cares for her throughout the story, just by the beginning and how tight they seem to be, and then how it ends with these 4 stories. Because it's kind of funny. She calls him Crockpot, and that's what made me want to read it. I thought that was hilarious. It's kind of brilliant. It's very much like her. She does not call him Killer Croc. She calls him Crockpot. And I thought that was just hilarious. And it really makes me read the book, so I can just see the dynamics between them 2 characters. But, you know, for all I know, that might just be something centered around Suicide Squad at the time of this Dark Knight Metal stuff. But as she seems to call it this quite often. But, without further ado, I'll kind of get into spoils, kind of break down some of these books. But, like I had said, Batman Who Laughs gives the inmates of Arkham, as he breaks in, these cosmic metallurgy cards to reshape the reality around them. And they're wanting to create outer rings. And the first one's given to the Riddler, who's probably one of my top 3 favorite Batman villains. One thing I like about this is we don't have that strong Irish face like we got in the War of Jokes and Riddles. But anyways, the Harley, Killer Croc, Damian, and Green Arrow get separated from the Teen Titans and the Suicide Squad during all this madness, and they get stuck in these rings around Gotham that the Batman rogues are creating. The first one is the Riddler. Off the top of my head, I can't think of a crazy painting name with all the stairs everywhere. It's very, very famous, and that's kind of what his realm looks like. And when they meet, Riddler, if you know metal, and you know King Diamond and the corpse paint that he's very, very known for, that's what the Riddler looks like. So stop this, pause this right here, find this book, Teen Titans number 12, find the Riddler. We're in this book where he's got the corpse paint on, and then go find a picture of King Diamond and tell me they do not look alike. Very, very awesome. And he's got this giant mechanical minotaur. And this one I realized these 4 books are almost kind of like a D&D story. Just kind of how the characters look. And that kind of breaks off into the next one when we get into Nightwing 29. They meet Nightwing being chased by a frost giant, which kind of looks like an ice elemental, if you know anything about D&D. Does not look like a frost giant. And this is what's even funny as I'm reading this. When they lure it into the front of the L train, Harley even makes a D&D reference. She says, "Oh, you rolled a natural 20." And Green Arrow says, "I'm going to act like I didn't get that reference." That was very funny to me. I thought that was great. Because here I'm thinking, wow, this is kind of D&D-ish. And then she makes a D&D reference. Really, really good. Something interesting about this book is Killer Croc being a cold-blooded creature. Well, warm-blooded creature, I should say. Yeah, whatever reptiles are. He catches a cold. And I thought that was a very interesting thing to see in this book, because now they're in Mr. Freeze's world, and I thought that was really cool. And considering that Croc's natural state is a disease that he has, but over the years being Killer Croc, he's just kind of turned into a reptile due to his deformities and his disease. But anyways, when I mean Mr. Freeze, he looks like a complete badass. He looks like a frost giant. Like if you were to look at the Thor books and see a frost giant, that's what Mr. Freeze looks like. He's got these ice spikes sticking out of him, this great big sword, and he's got like this cold energy formed up in his hand, very, very much like a D&D character. And, well, anyways, they are protecting the armory of the Court of Owls, and it's all this weaponry made of nth metal, and, to make it even more look like D&D, these 4 guys, they get these weapons and some of this gear, and they look like D&D characters. So, I mean, in these first 2 issues, you really see it forming up. Well, anyways, during this time, the Teen Titans, after Damien is left in, they meet up with what's left of the Suicide Squad, meeting Harley, looking for Harley and Croc. And they battle a ton of these Robins. And that's what you realize, which, if you haven't read Dark Knight's Metal by now, which I've reviewed separately if you want to go read that, go to the Dark Knight's Rising book, The Batman Who Laughs, and when you see his origin and what the Joker was doing to people, you realize that all these kids he was changing with his chemicals and whatnot are all these Robins, because there's a huge legion of them that comes to fight the Teen Titans and the Suicide Squad. And by the end, there's only 3 left, which we constantly see running around with the Batman Who Laughs in the 6-part miniseries. So I thought that was really cool. And this is what was interesting, and it's not kind of explained. In that book, when Batman snaps Joker's neck, there's a nanovirus inside the Joker that's released that's enough to affect 1 people. And then eventually, in his book, you find out that he's also infected Damien with it. So, right here in this battle, the Teen Titans and the Suicide Squad get turned into much like these Robins. So I'm wondering if this is some type of poison that's now in their bite or in their claws, because they grow fangs, they grow long fingernails, and I'm wondering if that's something in that they can transfer to somebody, because it happens here, but it's not really explained. So there's kind of a mystery there of how all that works. Next, they made up to Poison Ivy, and she is protecting the Green. And if you know, that's a big thing with Swamp Thing. And I wouldn't say she's so much evil here, as she is literally trying to protect the plant life with her that she's created with her card. You see that Croc now is very much like the Hulk, which also makes me want to read Suicide Squad more, just the way he uses his words. Well, anyway, so there's a big fight that breaks out because these evil Suicide Squad and Teen Titans members now show up while they're fighting Poison Ivy. And there's something that they really missed out on this book, as Beast Boy is in his gorilla form, and Croc is in this really cool, badass armor. Like D&D looking armor with spikes, and it's all made of leather. and they're going to fight. And I really wish they had drawn some of that out, because that would have looked like a really, really, really awesome fight. And then we get to see Evil Damien. And he shows up in, like I said, in Batman Who Laughs. You know that this has happened to him, that he's went the way of that Batman. And now we finally get to see him. Well, anyways, Mr. Terrific shows up, and he kind of saves them, because these little spheres that Nightwing has been following around are his T-spheres. Well, then we break off into Green Arrow, because the Poison Ivy was a Nightwing. And there's something that doesn't make any sense here, because at the end of the Poison Ivy book, we find out that Mad Hatter has a card, so he would be the 4th person, and it says that he is the 6th ring. Well, as they go through this book, and they find out that now the Teen Titans and the Suicide Squad members that are dark are batteries for this crazy-looking murder machine. And it's very steampunk-looking. It's got spidery legs. And they wind up in Bane's ring, which is also considered the 6th ring, too. So, unless I missed something, there's 4 rings. We skip a ring, and then we have 2 6th rings. Because we have Riddler, we have Mr. Freeze, we have Poison Ivy, we see Mad Hatters, and then we see Bane. So that's 5. And 2 of them are considered the 6th. Ivy's is considered the 3rd, I would assume. So something got mixed up there, and we're missing something, or I just missed something myself. I'm pretty sure I didn't. So that kind of confused me, but anyways, it doesn't really take away from anything. And Bane, and I don't get this, has his ring is like a fighting ring, like where people have to constantly fight each other. And this is where all the hell breaks loose, and Dark Robin shows up to fight everybody as they're trying to get the Titans and Suicide Squad off this machine. And you could tell that they're sorely outmatched. And these visions from Nightwing have left him here because he's been affected by the Electrum from the Court of Owls. And Dark Damien is trying to bring Damien over to his side, and the rest of them are telling him no. If you know anything about Damian Wayne, he has to do everything his way. He thinks that everybody looks down at him because he's literally a child, and that he has so much to prove because he's the father of Batman. He's the grandson of, Ra's al Ghul, the leader of the, his Assassin's Guild. And, well, they have 1 arrow left, and they go to shoot it at him. Green Arrow does. It's a ninth metal arrow. And he winds up tagging Damien because Dark Damien puts him away. And then you can see Damien do something really cool as he shoves the arrow through him to kill the Dark Damien. Well, at this time, Batman Who Laughs shows up in his really gnarly looking Batmobile. At first I thought maybe it was the murder machine, but it's not. And you find out that his cards can be used to summon all the other Dark Knights. And to realizing that everything is bad, they cannot save the scene to Teen Titans or Suicide Squad, because Croc is begging Harley to kill all of them, to get Amanda Waller to like shoot a nuke or something at him, because he'd rather be dead than what he has seen. And that's just more of that dynamic that makes me want to read that book. But anyways, Dr. Fate shows up and he saves them. And this book picks up right in there at issue 3, where they're at the whatever the bar is that the Nightmaster owns with Detective Chimp. Oblivion Bar, yeah, that's what it is. But otherwise, like I said, this is fun. Like I said, it's very, very D&D-ish, which I am a huge player of D&D. A lot of us here are at the Villains of Man. I really like it. Like I said, you can read this, or you cannot. It does not take away anything from the miniseries. It's not important to read with the miniseries, but it is a fun story, this section here of the Resistance. But I recommend picking up. It's a good read. It's fun. Like I said, I really wish I could explain why these rings are oddly numbered or what was missing there. Maybe I was missing something. Maybe I'm going to have to go back and look for it. I just might have looked over it. But I'm the JVD. I am the JVD. I am JVD, not the JVD. But maybe I am self-centered. Who knows? But this has been my review for Dark Knight's Metal, The Resistance Part 1. Remember, this is my first part of this trade paperback. For the Villains Man, find us on Facebook and Twitter. Hopefully you're subscribed to YouTube or you're listening to this right now. Give me a like on this video. Leave me a comment. I'll send you an answer. Keep reading, guys.